In our previous videos of this saga, the apes from the planet of the apes discovered the corpse of a giant ape near the Statue of Liberty. After embarking on a journey to Skull Island, they ended up capturing the last of the Kong, a king who was not happy to be transported to Ape City. But what happens when different prehistoric creatures attack the city? And when the apes discover the body of a human who wasn't supposed to be around at the time? In this video, we will talk about the 5th episode in the story of Kong on the planet of the apes. So, if you want to know what will happen, stay tuned to this video. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. The story begins with Kong observing how these creatures are attacking the city. Ursus's men could not control these prehistoric reptiles, which have not eaten for more than a week, and now they have become the biggest threat, and the apes are to blame. One of these reptiles reaches the cage where Nita is, a human who was also abducted from Skull Island, is kept. But this is not the first time Nita has faced one of these creatures, as this reptile comes from her home. Nita takes a rock and hits one of these creatures, thus managing to prevent this prehistoric monster from eating them. Nita yells at the humans to stick together, but they don't understand her very well. Meanwhile, in Ape City, everyone is running for their lives trying to escape. Cornelius is desperately looking for Zira, because he knows what is coming. The creatures will quickly wipe out everyone in the city. In the midst of the chaos, he meets Dr. Zaius. Cornelius tells him that he can't find Zira, but the doctor tells him to calm down and listen to the screams. There is nothing to do now. He must try to escape and forget about Zira, or stay in the city and die. Cornelius realizes that Dr. Zaius does not intend to escape. He wishes to stay and face the destruction of the city. Cornelius tells him to escape with him, but Zaius tells him that the council is going to blame him for everything that has happened, and wishes him to leave him alone in that place. But one of the soldiers sent by the apes, Honorius and Maximus, arrives. This soldier tells Zaius that the council has called him, and that he must accompany him, something that Zaius did not wish to do, but he has no choice. Meanwhile, Ursus leads the attack, and his men shoot at these creatures. However, Ursus notices that these reptiles are grouping together near the human's cage. Ursus orders the apes to attack the place with flames in order to wipe out the creatures, regardless of the fact that he might be slaughtering the humans. As Kong observes everything that is happening, he begins getting desperate because Nita's life is in danger. At that moment, he starts beating his own cage and breaks his prison. We can see a scene in which Kong throws himself through the air to stop the fire and save Nita and the rest of the humans. He reaches the cage and gets in the way of Ursus's men's attack, starting to fight back. The apes can't believe what they are seeing. The giant ape is defending the humans. Seeing Kong's actions, Ursus orders the soldiers to open fire to the monster. Some ask whether this giant is an ape like them, to which Ursus replies that he is a danger to the city, a monster that must be stopped. And so begins Kong's fight against the forces of Ursus. Meanwhile, Dr. Zaius is taken to a meeting with the council, where they reproach him, saying that the giant ape was not a god, but a danger. They have all realized that Dr. Zaius has brought destruction to the city, that Zaius had lied, and that this was not a sign of a new era for their city, but possibly the extinction of the apes. In the midst of the reproaches, Zira sees Cornelius and runs to him to embrace him. While Zaius tells the council that Ursus will surely end Kong's life, Zira and Cornelius try to convince the council to keep Kong away, but not to end his life, as he is the last of his kind. However, to consider saving Kong at this point is illogical. Now the apes are fighting for their survival. Meanwhile, the apes' fight against Kong is unprecedented. Ursus has unloaded his full military force against the giant, but this has only enraged him more. Kong was destroying the entire city, and the apes could do nothing to stop him. However, the voice of a human was heard. It is Nita, who speaks to Kong in their native language. She seems to be telling Kong that he must escape, so Kong starts to run towards the Forbidden Zone together with Nita, but Ursus orders not to let him escape. At that moment, Cornelius and Zira arrive and yell at Ursus to stop, to let the last of the Kong go, but Ursus insists that they must end his life. However, in the Forbidden Zone are Milo and Lucius, with Zira's journals, in case something happens, to have evidence of what truly happened. As they talk, they see the body of a human on the shore. Her identification indicates that her name is Stewart, and she was part of the ANSA. We can also see the image of a ship underwater in the Forbidden Zone. But who was this woman? Marianne Stewart was an astronaut who was part of a crucial space expedition, along with George Taylor, John Landon, and Thomas Dodge. 6 months into their mission, the team underwent a state of suspended animation in anticipation of a long journey. Stewart, who was a companion to George Taylor, the protagonist we met in the first film of the saga, met a tragic end when her ship, upon returning to Earth, crashed into a salt lake. In this accident, Stewart's body, along with the wreckage of the ship, disappeared into the depths. This discovery of Stewart is the key missing piece about how the apes had access to the Icarus spaceship to escape from the Planet of the Apes at the end of the second original movie. This is a very important detail. Undoubtedly, this story is quite interesting and provides many details that were missing in the original story. But tell me, what do you think about all this? What role does the Icarus spaceship play in the story of Kong on the Planet of the Apes? And for more videos from the Planet of the Apes universe, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on The Oasis Geek.